fishing slowed down a bit now. It's got a bit colder. Well, I don't know if it's got colder, but it's certainly got windier. And I think that, you know, the wind chill really gets to you. I've got with me some little weird little gloves here, little biker's gloves. I used to have like proper fishing gloves, but I found they were a bit too big. And these ones just cover the palm of your hand and just give you that little bit of warmth. Your hands, when you're out in the cold weather, as we all know, are the first things to get cold, particularly when you're holding fish as well. It can be absolutely freezing when the wind gets on a wet hand. So just a few gloves, a little glove like this is just good enough. These are good as well because they're fingerless. Oh, look, a little mole. But yeah, you can tie hooks and you can put your magnets on a bit easier. It's always worth bringing a set of gloves with you if it's chilly, and it certainly is. Yeah, so the fish has slowed down a little bit now. I just popped quite a bit of bait in because I wondered if I wasn't feeding enough bait into the swim, and I've just given it a little bit of time for the fish to move in. So we'll see if that's actually helped. But I'm just trickling in maggots really slowly, just over the top, and yeah, hopefully something will move in. So getting lots of perch. I've had lots of species, you know, but perch, roach, rudd, carp. I've had some hybrids, different various hybrids, roach hybrids and roach bream hybrids and all sorts. But yeah, I'm still after just a perch about the size of my hand would be really nice. I'd be happy with one of them on a chilly day like today. I'll call that a success. But if not, I'll happy catch these little wasps which are coming out. And you never know, there might be a few more species turn up, or I might get a really big perch. If you don't try, you don't know, do you? And that's the way of it. Trouble you have on cold days like today, other than the temperature of course, and the breeze howling through, but the breeze has died down a bit now, thankfully, is the bites tend to be a little bit slower, and you're waiting for bites rather than hooking into them, which you normally do in this particular fishery. But it's patience really, it's changing your gear around, you know. Earlier on, the float tip was quite high in the water and I've dipped it right down so it's really low, hoping to see the little teeny tiny bites which are occurring. It's about getting the feed right, which I'm going to do right now, some maggots. Do you put a lot in? Do you put just a little in? Are they really hungry for it? You don't want to feed the fish on the loose feed and not have them take your hook bait. But equally, if you're not putting enough bait in, then you're not going to get the fish coming in. So it's getting that balance perfectly aligned. Which is quite some thing to learn, really. I don't think really any angler could say that they ever fully learned that. It's more sort of intuition and knowing the water than anything else half the time. I just missed that bite, by the way. Another thing that's been an issue is the float's been dipping under and moving across. But I've firstly been striking too soon. The fish is just playing with the maggot more than anything, and it hasn't really taken it into its mouth properly. So I'm having to sort of sit on my hands a little bit before I actually strike. And even then, even when I'm hooking the fish, they're coming off the hook quite easily because they're not having the chance to take the hook bait in. Sometimes the fish will just take the bait and go, be gone with it, just disappear. But today, because it's colder and the weather's a bit manky, they're just being a little bit more, I don't know, finicky, I suppose the word is. Finicky, delicate, sensitive, I don't know. But persistence, you know, is the key, and always learning, always keeping an eye, always thinking in your mind, what are the fish doing, what's happening, what's happened to the weather, why have the bites dropped off, why are they picking up, you know, trying things out all the time, always learning, always deciding, or trying to get into the mind of a fish, which I suppose most of the time is and thinking about food and breeding and things like that. So I don't know, I'm obviously not breeding in this cold weather, but they're obviously thinking about food and whether they need it or not, whether just keeping moving around for food expends energy, you see, and so then they need to eat more food. So sometimes they just go into like a more of a torpor state when it's cold, and they'd rather just conserve the energy they have. They go out searching for it. It's also key, of course, in those situations, is if you are in a swim where you're not catching very much, sometimes moving swims can make all the difference, because if the fish aren't going to come to you, perhaps you ought to move to the fish. But yeah, it's all these little things you think of, things you pick up through the years of angling. There are two parrots sat on a perch. One turns to the other and says, "Do you smell fish?" I'm certainly succeeding here today in catching fish, which is, on a cold, windy, rainy day like today, certainly a bonus. Although I really would like some slightly bigger perch, maybe the size of my hand. I'm still hoping for, not the size of my pinky finger, although I do appreciate them. My predator fishing this winter has been particularly poor. Not only the other day, of course, but I went out with an everyday angler to the RDIA tickets, but even around Bristol where I live, it's just been really difficult, particularly when it comes to targeting the pike. Hello, piscatorial pals. You find me today a gloomy, dull, overcast, cloudy, quite cold day on the banks of the river Avon, the Bristol Avon. Now, most anglers would be a bit, what sort of weather is this to go fishing in? How dreary. But actually, it's fantastic weather for pike fishing, which is why I'm here today. I'm going to troll up and down this river, well, not troll, stroll, and troll a bait up and down this river to try and catch some fantastic pike. I've been fishing here before during the summer, and caught absolutely nothing at all. I was fishing with lures, and it was completely the wrong weather. But I am totally up for it today. I've got some dead baits with me, I've got some roach, and I've got some mackerel, I've got some smelt, and I'm just going to set up a couple of bottom baits. That's mostly because as I was walking here, I thought, oh no, I've forgotten half the stuff to do float fishing for pike. To be fair, there's a tackle shop. Premier Angling is just down the road, so if I do really fancy it, I could pop in there and tackle up. But I think I'm happy enough with some bottom baits today. I'll set some alarms out and I'll just chill out and relax in this lovely chill weather, and it's already really relaxing. So I'm gonna have a look, find a good swim. This one looks like a good one. If I try and steer clear of the boats, I'm sure the boaters won't like me launching great big mackerels at their vessels. But there's a nice little open area here in front of me. There's some little eddies and slacks in the edges, and I'm going to set up some rods, pop out some baits, and hopefully catch a pike. Just setting up. Got a couple of 10-foot carp rods to help me out today. We've got some 12-pound line on. Got some swans in the swim already, which isn't going to be helpful, especially for casting. But yeah, I've been itching to get down here on the Bristol Avon. I'm a guest today of the Keynsham Angling Association, which I'm a member of, and which I've been down here in the summer, but wasn't much luck. To be fair, I don't really like fishing in the summer for pike. They don't go back so easy with oh hello. They don't go back so easy in the summer. They put a lot of effort into the fight, as any pike angler will tell you, and the water, the oxygenation in the water in the summer is never particularly good. Can I help you? Are you after some bait? Do you want some mackerel? I've got some mackerel. Don't know if swans eat mackerel. I'm sure they'll eat pretty much anything. Got no bread or anything. Oh, I put that down a bit wonky, didn't I? Ground is extremely uneven. Less cows in the field today. I haven't seen any. But that doesn't mean they're not here. Oh, this is nice. I cast the first rod out, more or less where I wanted it, but we've had quite a bit of rain last week and the beginning of this week, and it's still pacing through this river quite heavily, and the water's very chocolatey brown, which isn't ideal. Hence me trying to pierce the bait a little bit to get the smell into the water. The first bait I sent right out, I know has bumped along the bottom and is somewhere across the other right hand side of the swim, which is fine. It's fine by me. It'll find a little bit of slack water over there to sit in, and it's most likely where a pike will be. The pike won't be swimming around in the fast current anyway. The other one I've just tucked in just behind some brambles just over here, just down under there. Hopefully a little pike, little jack pike maybe will be hiding underneath there, trying to ambush prey as they come out of the fast water and into some slow stuff to have a little bit of a break, a little bit of a rest. And I can't blame them having wanted a bit of a rest. That's exactly what I'm doing today. Luckily enough, it's not raining. The ground's moist, but fairly dry, so I'm just sat directly onto it, plugged into Mother Earth, and yeah, it's really nice. Now we're fishing. I just thought I'd stop in this swim because it looked pretty good. It's covered by trees over the top. It's got a nice glide all the way through the centre, and just inside the inside lane here, it's a nice big eddy that goes round in a big circle. Should be a nice little spot for fish to get into, and also pike to hunt those fish. However, it's an extremely dangerous swim. It's really slippery, just down the path here, down to the bottom. It's like a mudslide happened. I walked down there to cast out, and I slipped up twice. So actually now I'm here, I'm hoping I don't catch a pike here. Because if I do, I've got to head down there and try and land the thing. Actually, heading down won't be the issue. It'll be the stopping at the bottom that will be. Don't really go for a bit of wild swimming when I'm fishing anyway. But this might be a situation where you might see me having a bit of a paddle. I say paddle, it's very deep. Well, the whatever it was in that swim got the better of me. It felt like a little eel. The line did start going and I was like, ah, brilliant, a pike. But it felt a bit jingly jangly rather than lungy like a pike. Oh, this is quite a nice little swim. Look at this. Nice big overhanging tree into a little bay area down there. Yeah, I like that idea. If I can get down there. Anyway, I struck into whatever it was fish, and slid down the bank and covered in mud. I don't think I got too bad. I think my bum might be a little bit chocolatey brown from the mud. It's definitely mud, it's not poo. And yeah, so I'm going to move along out of the dangerous swim and take a little perch here. Do you know, I saw some cows come up earlier on. So they are still here. Not that I'm particularly nervous of cows, but I know from the last time that I was here that they're not particularly wary of people. So, we've got a wasp coming in at my face. God, wildlife is having their thing with me today. But yeah, this looks like a nice little swim. Lots of little eddies, lots of little underbits. Looks like a swim where I'm going to lose a bit of tackle probably with some overhanging trees, but I've dropped limbs into the water. I'm going to slide down this bank, not with you watching me, slide down this bank like an otter and set up down here, I think. Yeah, definitely. Yes? Can I help you? Is there some sort of issue? No, I haven't caught any pike yet, but neither have you. Don't turn away from me. I'm berating you. Moo? I thought you'd say that. Yeah, move along, son. Move along. Move along. See what I did there? Oh, you didn't like that. I'm sorry. I'm offending your people. I'm still getting a lot of little nibbles on the rods. You can just see the tips just jingling. I've given up with the bite alarms now. I think they were annoying the boaters. I think that's more reserved for a time when maybe it's daytime and they're not going to be bothered by them so much. So basically I've just I'm just allowing the line to move out. I'm just watching the reels, I'm watching the tips of the rods. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of interest on the mackerel this time. But I can't help but feel that it's not a pike. Do you know what I mean? You get that feeling of, oh, I think a pike would have grabbed that and dragged it. If it is, it's quite a small one. I know last time I was fishing on the Avon last year, I was getting bothered by eels, and I wonder if it's them just plucking away at it. It's coming up to, well, dark now, near enough, but it doesn't look it in the background. You know how cameras are, they always show a slightly different colour. But I have a feeling there might be a few little eels just starting to wake up to do their nighttime feeding, and they've discovered a tasty, juicy mackerel. Still, I'm happy to catch an eel, particularly if it could take a massive, great big mackerel. But I'm poised now. I can see the tip going a few times, and I'm poised, ready for action. We've just had a missed bite, and I think I know who the culprit is. There's my fish. I've got a leaf stuck to it. But look, torn the head. Well, he's eaten the guts right out, and the head. That's got to be an eel, isn't it? A pike wouldn't do that. It'd just snaffle it down all in one big mouthful. So I reckon in this swim here, I've got a cheeky little eel who is very interested in my bait. Look at that, just eating the gut right out of it. So what I'm going to do is move along. One last swim, I think. I'll give this eel his little breakfast that he's after. There you go, buddy. And then there were swans. Yeah, here come the swans. There were swans, I want a bit of that as well. I'm going to move on one last swim. I think I've got probably about half an hour left, and we'll perhaps head back to another swim which I've already tried and try my luck in there. Maybe I'll actually catch an eel, who knows. Well, I've had a lovely loose swim. Look, just that little gap there, just fishing down in there. No worries, got a little set of steps to go down. However, I put my bag there, and right there, it turns out, is a massive, massive, massive wasp nest. So I'm currently standing way back over here. I'm waiting for them to all go back in so I can run and get my bag. Maybe here longer than I thought. And I'm certainly not going to be able to do much fishing. I think this probably I think this spells the end of my fishing session. Oh my god, they're literally swarming around the bag. Thing is now, as I provided them with food, they've got a lovely tasty mackerel and smelt and roach dead baits there now to eat. They are really, really cross that I even attempted to go anywhere near them. Sorry, swore. They are angry. They are very angry. Not sure what to do. Just going to wait, I suppose. Oh god, it shouldn't happen to an angler. God, I haven't run in ages, but I waited for all those wasps to go back inside the nest. Well, most of them, and I just picked my moment, bolted in, grabbed my bag, and I've just shot up the bank. However many yards this is up further up, I'm back in this swim again now. Just for the last, well, it's going to be the last half an hour, but now it's going to be the last 10 minutes now. I've had to contend with a wasp nest. God, they were really cross. But I'm unstung. Never a dull moment when fishing. More's the pity. It's not always the wind and the rain and the cold weather which can make fishing difficult. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what the banks are going to be like when you get there, how steep they are, whether there are any cows or wasps to contend with. It's always something new every time you go. And even those sessions where you catch nothing at all, they can still be very, very memorable. So that's always a bonus as well. Something to tell the people down the pub when you go, or your fishing friends. But yeah, so the predator fishing for me for winter hasn't been the best. But you just got to keep learning, keep trying, and keep going. And eventually it'll all come good. I know it will. Whether it will today, I don't know. Again, I've maybe set my sights a little bit lower than I hoped. Perch of a hand size would be great. Come on, Perch, you can do it. I love the little wasps, but we just want one a little bit bigger. Bit of blue sky. That must mean there's a storm rolling through any minute now. No, don't be so pessimistic about it. Anyway, I've been pondering these fish. Yeah, really, really difficult to catch today. I've had 2 maggots on the hook, but they've just been taking the maggots and not actually on the hook. I've been missing so many bites. So I ended up putting 1 maggot on the hook, and again they were still taking a maggot. You just nick the end of the end of the maggot itself just onto the hook like you should do. But now what I'm doing is I'm threading the hook right the way through the maggot, and I'm actually getting a few more fish, like this little roach here. I'm getting a few hybrids, I'm getting a few little tiny perch, and I'm actually getting more bites and, well, more hookups now than I was before. Yeah, just by simply threading the maggot around the hook. Almost like you're threading a needle through the entire thing. Most of the hook is inside the maggot now, but it's counting more fish on the bank, and it seems to be working. So I'm going to keep on doing that and see if I end up getting a few more fish rather than a few more missed bites. what you're going to get when you're fishing. And here we have, oh, if it will sit still, a barbel. A lovely little barbel. Look at the 4 little barbules in its mouth, used for rooting around in the mud and finding all the food. Lovely, lovely fish. Really hard fighters and really wiry as well. Surprised this one's sitting still so well. Perhaps it's because it's a little bit chilly. But what a lovely fish. Nice little bonus for a hard day's fishing. Gorgeous. Mwah. So this whole time I was after a hand-sized perch, and to be honest, I wasn't sure I was going to get one. But check this one out. Now that's a perch. Only about £1.5 pounds, but that's a proper perch, that one. Finally got away from those little tiddlers and got this lovely beast. Check him out. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Beautiful stripes. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Just took a single red maggot. Sometimes you don't need the big baits to catch the big fish, do you? Lovely. Wiry fish. Guess what it is? It's another barbel. Fantastic. Lovely still water barbel. Turns out that the last fish of the day is a glorious golden 8.5 pound mirror carp. Beautiful. What an end to the day. Beautiful mixed bag fishing with the added bonus of predatory perch in there as well to get those perch bonus points in. What a lovely carp that is. Gorgeous. Right, that's me for the day. It's very cold. The sun is going down now. Not that there's been much sun, to be honest, has there? Let's face it. But what a great day's fishing. Caught so many different species of fish. Rudd, roach, perch, barbel, carp, bream, some hybrids. Lovely fishing indeed. What saved it for me, of course, was, well, first of all, thinking about what I was doing, watching and learning from the fish I was or wasn't catching, as the case may be. I was missing an awful lot of fish, and just changing my rigs around and changing my bait, particularly from the 2 maggots to threading a single maggot onto the hook, and noticeably much more fish, bigger fish, strangely enough, on just one single maggot. Just goes to show that sometimes big baits don't always get you the biggest fish. Sometimes it's the small ones that get you the bigger ones. I must keep trying to remind myself of that. Anyway, I was really happy to get that lovely big perch at the end of it. Caught lots of little perch, but I was really been hankering for some predator fishing, and to catch that lovely perch, which was, well, I gave it £1 pound 10 ounces, but the scales were erring on the £1 pound 11, but always go lower, I say. £1 pound 10 ounce perch, beautiful fish, and again on that one single maggot. Who'd have thought that? Anyway, I'm going to head home. It's going to be a nice warming walk after this cold day. As you can see, the chop's back on the water again, and I've moved around the lake to a bit so I can talk to you about the wind howling into the camera. Thank you for joining me yet again. I keep saying thank you, but I am genuinely thankful that you guys watch. Even more thankful if you can subscribe to my channel and like the videos. I will see you again next time on the bank. Bye.